this is the second week that we've talked about SAP here. Sorry, we keep dueling back and forth on that. And I think it's, two things here. First of all, stock got hammered because of a risk about a perception of risk about cash. And I got to tell you, it is one of the weirdest things, particularly of a fiscally responsible company like SAP. People believed the company is worth a lot less because it was down 9% on the Frankfurt because of how it talked about cash in the future. And for a company like SAP, that's bizarre to me. Like, if Robinhood would make a statement like that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, something's going on there, something's going wrong. But I don't want that to overshadow what the company did in cloud. And I'll reiterate, SAP and cloud were not two statements that you would ever use together a lot in the previous 5 years. But the different approach that they took. So first of all, they do have some SaaS properties, particularly in ERP and payments. But the company leverages IaaS players to deliver its cloud, and hence it's a hybrid cloud play. And they're crushing it. Fourth quarter, cloud backlog up 32%, cloud revenue up 28%, SaaS and PaaS, like I said, up 37%, S/4HANA Cloud up 65%. So dare I say it, SAP is a cloud play, Daniel?
Well, you bring up a really interesting point. And like I said, we don't probably have to dig too far into this one because we talked about it last week, Pat. I mean, SAP is a very fiduciary, very thoughtful company. They're not necessarily known for moving fast. They've made some inroads into cloud. Some have been more successful than others. Remember, they still hold a big chunk of Qualtrics, but they did spin it off in order to, provide and unlock more value from that acquisition. They made some interesting SaaS type acquisitions, companies like Ariba on the procurement side, companies like Concur on the expense side, that again, maybe the value you couldn't say has been fully unlocked, but they've definitely been making these significant cloud investments. But the biggest investment has been migration of the SAP S/4HANA to, the S4 migration to cloud. And there's been a lot of criticism that it's not fast enough or that it hasn't been easy enough. And that's why the company has rolled out Rise. And Rise with SAP is showing really strong momentum. I think they got 650 customers just this quarter and some very large customers. You're talking about a company with multiple hundreds of thousands of customers worldwide. And I think in their data point, Pat, they said the adoption of S4 at this point is 18,000. You have hundreds of thousands of migrations left to go. And they're working hard to streamline and make that more available. But it's a lift, and there's some significant work that companies are going to have to do. But as I see it, that's a huge opportunity. You look at, and I know these two companies hate being mentioned in the same sentence, but it would be, I'd be remiss not to take this opportunity. You look at the success that Oracle's had and how the markets really looked very positively at the company, despite not always being the most popular. And I see some similarities. Now, they haven't embraced or offered any sort of public cloud the way Oracle has, but in terms of having that huge, steady, recurring customer database of licensed and cloud subscribers that they could migrate over to full cloud and SaaS solutions, these two companies have a really similar type of approach and opportunity, and that opportunity is very good. So as I see it, I think the Rise program is going to be successful. I think, right now the market is bearish, Pat, and they're looking for any reason to be negative. And so they found the reason here. But I think with the data SAP has, the customers SAP has, and a little bit of continued, ambition from CEO Christian Klein, and I think he's doing a lot of the right things. He's taking some of those Satya like risks to flip the safe revenue to cloud revenue. I think if he can do it, there's a bright future.
Yeah, it's funny. First time I heard of Rise, I was like, oh, great. Okay, another transition program, marketing, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually like, it's made a huge impact, super impressive.